Well, hello and welcome to an entire new century of Chubs Gone Wild. 401. It's the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
year of the new century. Yay.
We got the joke. It's not funny.
Oh. Well, and it's recorded July 5th, 2021. And yes, it is. Hey, you want to know something that's funny? So, last night I was talking about some damn thing or other to Michael Sage. And I ended up saying, well, do you know, Tom, the little store that's kind of in between like you and I, it's just kind of stuck there. There's a liquor store next to it. And it's the store that's been around since like, I don't know, 50s or 60s or something.
Oh, you're talking about the place next to the betting place that burned down a couple days ago?
I think so. It's just like a little bottle shop at 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I went in there yesterday and I was talking about that and I
You
described
went in there? Oh my God, nobody goes in there but drug dealers.
what are you
Oh,
saying?
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyway, you're giving me away, man. No, so but I went in there and it's kind of sad. But I said, this was probably one of those places that was like really in its prime in the late 1900s. And then I realized I just said the late 1900s and realized that was like mostly me in the late 1900s and I'm kind of old.
Not kinda.
Oh no. All right. Anyway, it's currently what, about 79 degrees outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios. Oh, and
First
by
of
the
all,
way,
today is July 6th.
I was just gonna say that. Today is July 6th, 2021. Where it is 117 days till Halloween, 172 days till Christmas, 90 days until Thanksgiving in Canada, and also 181 days until season 2 of Call Me Cat hits the airwaves. Yay! All right. Well, I'm trying to control myself so that I can move on from that. All right. Today we celebrate some wonderful, amazing. Oh, it is on here. Thank goodness. Okay, holidays, including International Kissing Day. Did you want to kiss?
You? No.
Oh, mean. Also, National Air Traffic Control Day. Now, take your webmaster to lunch. Hey, where's all my clients, man? Let's see, Umbrella Cover Day. Virtual Hug a Virtual Assistant Day. That's so sweet. And also National Fried Chicken Day, which for us was Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Celebrated early, I guess. Although, like
Well,
I
you got a
said,
bucket, so you still have stuff left over.
yeah, amazingly, there is a piece or two left out there. So
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
because
celebrate.
your father isn't there.
He'll be back later. I better get it
Oh,
before he does.
yeah, better, because that chicken's gone once he gets in the house.
Second he walks in. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the what do we call it? The today's affirmation, and it's a good one. You'll love this one. Okay, ready? Today I remember to put my hands over my heart and express love for myself. I embrace my inner child.
What this thinking of new sentences to put together.
I think they probably do like you know how on Facebook they have those predictive text things challenges.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think it's probably just kind of the same.
I think so. It's I expected with watching eagles soar.
Yes, exactly. Ah, ugh. Anyway, real quick, we want to talk to you about Patreon. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Starsage from the Univaz. Also, Timothy, Eric, Brother Senatus, Phoenix Dave, and Moose P. please become a patron of the show over at patreon.com/mattburlingame, as little as $1 a month. And copies of the the paperback Last Romance copies for our patrons are currently coming to my house. So hopefully we'll have those out before long. All right, moving on from that, I believe we should jump into the birthdays so that we can wish some people happy birthday. I wonder who.
Okay.
It's always a surprise to me whose birthdays are coming up. Well, let's see. Today we celebrate Kaysen and Jackson. Actually, Kaysen Maples, who is a recording artist, who is a local person, and also Jackson. And then upcoming birthdays, we have...
Is Jackson Lori's dog, Jackson?
No, Jackson is actually, he worked with us over at when we were doing the radio stuff.
Ah.
Yeah. We also have Gore, Patrick, Dean, author Max Walker, author Dean Cole, I should say. Also, we have Kimberly, Bonnie, Val, Trip, Michelle, who is our absolutely wonderful Gorgon, you remember? Also, we have Edson, Sean Allen, who was, what did he play? He played in one of our Del Shore shows. Do you remember which one?
It has to be, it wasn't Sissies.
No, it was the other one that we did at the, well, you guys did it twice. I directed it once. Well, it's not coming to me and I don't want to waste time, but it was the big one that everybody knows. All right. We also want to wish happy birthday to Patricia Sean, who comments on our videos. That's so wonderful. Happy birthday, Sean. And also author Christopher Kohler and Paul, who I believe is Mr. Green Jeans. So, and happy birthday to all of you. Woohoo. All right. What we got coming up here again? It's gonna bug me. Sorted Lives. That's what it was. Sorted Lives. All right, what we got in our feedback? Well, actually, we just wished him happy birthday, and he wrote in and said, yes. He wrote in a couple times. Actually, I think we already did had a string of 100-degree days in San Luis Obispo County too. No fun. And then he also wrote in and said, yes, they're both based on Swiss roll cakes, but ho-hos are way better. Still traumatized by telling my parents as a kid to get ho-hos from the store and having them come back with Little Debbie's. The pain is real. So thank you, Sean, for that.
And the cake is dry.
And then we had Mr. Moose wrote in and say, so sorry, I forgot to send a message of congratulations on your 400th episode. That's a wonderful milestone and has been delightful to listen to. Here's to 400 more. No pressure there.
Well, it feels like he's a regular on the show, so it's his accomplishment as well.
I agree with that totally. And then we did have some other little fun comments here and there on social media from some of the others. And then right before we started recording, we did get a call from Mr. Tim, and we will play that on the next episode.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you say we just got the call,
like we were recording and got the call. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Chub Hugs. So I have two. One to Debbie, who is tackling her A1C like a champ and chugging her gallon a day. You go, girl. And then also to all the scared puppies and kitties still traumatized from the 4th of July on Sunday.
Speaking of that, did you get a lot of people shooting off stuff last night?
Yes. Yeah. Same
See,
thing. It wasn't as close and it wasn't as illegal, but yeah.
yeah, ours, we right when I had messaged you last night, at 8 o'clock, we had some, and then nothing the rest of the night. I mean, nothing that you went, oh, someone's shooting off fireworks. It may have been off in the distance, but you didn't, because the ones actually shook crystal that in my neighborhood, you could hear glass jingling in the cupboards.
Yeah.
Because it was so loud. And yeah, and even, I mean, it was the kind of stuff that even turning on a Marvel movie on really loud and keeping the doors and windows shut, still the dogs would be freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's too loud. It needs to stop. I hate being that guy, but when your entire state is on fire anyway, why are we selling fireworks?
Agreed.
These organizations can find another way of making money.
Yeah. Ours here was just insane. I mean, it started about 6 something.
Yeah, which is weird because it wasn't even close to being dark, and they started them.
Yeah, and it kept going until almost 3. And after about like the midnight, it would go in waves where it would kind of stop for about 10 minutes, and then it would start up for the rest of the hour. It was so bad. Like I have noise canceling headphones now, and I had those on, and I mean, I can't hear myself snap right next to me, but I could still hear the big sonic booms every time they went off. We had them on all sides of the house this time. We had great big ones that were shooting up into the sky, like 5 houses down, maybe. I mean, I have videos of it that I put up. It was just crazy. But the big sonic shaking the fucking house, rattling the windows booms were just, it has turned me into somebody that just hates fireworks. And I'm not talking about the little illegal ones or whatever, I guess. Not thrilled about those either. But no, I absolutely fucking hate them. So especially after seeing everything that Tyson went through with them, I mean, he just was a basket case every year. So fuck them hard. Oh, and they were still setting them off yesterday. We were over at Ouija's pool, and we were just hanging out there, and all of a sudden, broad daylight, 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, like 2 or 3 houses over, all of a sudden just this huge explosion going off. It's awful. All right, did you have any chub hugs you would like to send out?
I know they're free. So I'm thinking, not this week.
Okay. Well, they are free, so you can actually save them up as well.
Yeah.
All right, current topics. 2 more cis black women banned from the Olympics for their natural testosterone levels. Chris Bamba and Beatrice Massalingi are the latest accomplished athletes to be excluded under the rule that devastated Caster Semenya's career. So basically, they're cisgender women who have naturally higher testosterone levels, and they're banned because of it from competing. But you're okay with that, right?
I think we should ban everybody.
Well, I mean, you don't think that transgender male to female should be able to compete?
I think it's really one of those odd slippery slopes that it's really tough, because I'll tell you, if I was a 16-year-old girl, which sometimes I am, and some some guy who was on the football team, but now he's a girl, or he's transgender, and now I'm going up against him. I'm going to not be happy about that, depending on the sport, of course. But I mean, male bodies are naturally stronger.
But if it is somebody who is doing that, they're going to be pumped full of estrogen. And they're also not going to be just automatically, all bulked and muscled up. They're going to be somebody who's probably been going through transition for
I know,
years.
but they're in the sport, so a lot of times it's a real weird line. Of course, they have no problem with girls who want to be boys competing in male sports, because then they have the disadvantage. And I hate, ever agreeing with Caitlyn Jenner. So,
well, what's the latest thing she's an evangelical now.
Oh,
she's going to convert all the crazy Christians to loving transgender people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck on that.
California is set to end the use of he/him pronouns in reference to state office holders. State laws about the governor and other positions use he/him pronouns. A new bill would end that. Well, that's good. Let's see. Also, UK Methodist Church allows same-sex marriages in historic votes. Marriage for the church is now also defined as a lifelong union in mind, body, and spirit of two people who freely enter into it. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. All right, here we go here. Let me see. Okay, sorry, got a quick work thing. Moving that along. All right, hey, Tom wants to talk to you about.
Oh, you could have done that before you read your email.
Sorry, something popped up on my screen.
Oh yeah, it always does. It always does. Let's see. So we finished up Top Chef this week, and of course, as soon as they announce who the top chef is, they also find out that the person who's the new top chef was fired in December from their job for harassment, I guess, and they basically got Me Too'd. So now they're Top Chef is kind of calling out for, okay, we need to find out what's going on with this, because they can't have a winner that is unable to work because they're a pig. Let's see. This week on High School Musical, the series, season 2, where this was like teen angst week. It's like, the most of the characters are like, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, you don't love me enough, or I don't know where I want to be anymore. I'm 15 years old. My life is crumbling around. Shut up. Okay. So I'm hoping for a better episode next week. Although they did Gaston, and that was really, really well done. Nice. So let's see. Loki, we're coming up on the finale of Loki this week. It's only 5 episodes, about an hour long each. So it's but this last episode was really, really fun. And I'm kind of looking forward to how they're going to end this thing. I don't know. Sweet Tooth, we finished the season of Sweet Tooth about the little boy who's half deer, half human.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the show got really much more interesting. And the last episode, we find out that everybody is tied to everybody without everyone knowing it. It's just one of those things where, oh, so your child is this, and your brother is that, and you're over there. Oh my God. It was like, okay, come on, really? You pulled all this out on the last episode, and then you tell us to wait another year. Fuck you people. But it was still good. Let's see. Okay, Kevin Can Fuck Himself on AMC. That's the one with Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek. And this is the best way to describe it is this is a woman stuck in a sitcom, but as soon as she leaves the house, her life becomes a drama. I mean, literally, they've made a sitcom inside a drama. So whenever she's with her husband and her husband's friends and she's home, she's like this housewife who has to deal with idiocies on a regular basis, kind of like Everybody Loves Raymond. But and then when she leaves the house, she's trying to figure out how to kill her husband. So that's the part that keeps me interested, is the outside help, because it's all these characters are the worst of sitcom characters as well. So it's just like torture when they're in the sitcom world. You'd know what I'm talking about if you saw it. So let's see. Love Victor this week. Even though all the episodes have dropped, we're just kind of watching one a week, because I want to piece them out. And this was the week that they do it for the first time. And Victor's never done it before, but Victor's boyfriend has, done it like with 3 other people, and which I guess makes him kind of a whore. And not really, but in high school, yeah, that's kind of a whore. But it's still the shows are good. Episode 2 of Evil. Oh my God. Leland, who is the character who's working with the devil, because the devil really exists, and he's a goat man, so I mean it's so cool. It's just so cool. I can't even explain it. Anyway, so he's been dating the main character's mother, who's played by Christine Lottie, who was back from the 80s, did a lot of movie and television work. So she's playing the mother. Well, he's been dating her, and now they're engaged. And he realizes that we know that he's only dating the mother to piss off the daughter. And since that's not really working, because the daughter's pissed off at the mother too, so she doesn't give a shit. So he goes, we're breaking up. And she goes, okay, you're just nervous over and he goes, no, I'm just tired of your foul smelling cunt. I don't want to ever see you again, talk to you again. I want you out of my life. He just railed on her in things I've never heard on television. So I was laughing so hard because it's so awful. But at the same time, she's looking at him like, I will fucking bury you. So it looks like that's going to be a lot of, oh God, I love this show. And there was an episode that dropped Sunday, and I didn't watch it because I wasn't thinking, because 4th of July was on a Sunday, which it should never be. It's just too confusing. So I've got a new episode that I got. Oh, and also the Archangel Michael was talking to someone that the church wanted them to investigate, the group to investigate, and he was real. Oh my God, he was so scary too. He was huge. And so yeah, it was good. It was really good. And now I'm on the evil group on Facebook, and we're all loving it. And it's the one thing I do like is, like, you can probably find Facebook group that likes one day at a time, so you can actually talk to people who care. So but this is like, somebody goes on and goes, oh, well, thanks for nobody giving away too many spoilers, because I'm not going to get Discovery or Paramount Plus until all the episodes are over with, so I can just watch them over a weekend. And now I'm like, oh, I want to send out like major spoilers. Fuck you. So this is how we keep the show on the air, is that they see that people want to see. Don't even get me started. Okay, RuPaul this week, we're in season 6, and I don't know if you remember her from a couple seasons ago, but because it's All Stars. So Silky Nutmeg Ganache, big
That sounds
black
familiar.
queen, like,
Yes.
yeah, and she
Yeah.
had a really bad attitude. Well, she came back on this as an all-star, and it looks though she's transgender, or she's transitioning.
Okay.
And she's super nice now, and she's trying, and everyone, she's going, when I was on the last time, I had people cancel bookings because they thought I'd be hard to work with. Because she was the bad guy on the show for her season. So but she got let go, but there's a twist, and there's a game within the game, so nobody's really leaving yet, if you know what I mean. So, oh, spoiler alert. But it doesn't matter because it hasn't, we're not there yet. The mysterious Benedict Society, which is on Disney Plus right now, is fun. It's Tony Hale and his evil brother. His evil brother is trying to brainwash people through radio waves, and so that's what's going on there. Still, it's kind of a cute show. Let's see. Monsters Inc. starts this week on Disney Plus as well. Monsters at Work. This is the new animated Pixar based on Monsters Inc. So the boys are back for probably 10 episodes. So that'll be fun. And let's see, on Physical, which is on Apple TV. This is about the woman who we hear her internal voice all the time, which is hilarious. Brian actually thought that it was scary that somebody was actually reading his mind and creating a series based on God, that can you imagine trying to read his mind and then make people believe that that's real? Yeah. So, but it's so far it's been pretty hilarious, and it looks like the woman is ultimately going to start up exercise videos, because this takes place in the 80s, and let's face it, Jane Fonda made her fortune in exercise videos. So, but so did a lot of people. I mean, Richard Simmons made a lot of money from them too, and a lot of other people. If you got any kind of a following back at that time period, because there wasn't social media, but boy, if they liked your music video or your exercise video or whatever, yeah, good stuff. So that's going to be fun. Let's see. I finished Mayor of Easttown, which is Kate Winslet on HBO.
I'm watching that.
And so basically, it's about the small town. A girl ends up being killed and left in the woods, that a lot of, where everyone hangs out. So they're looking for a killer, but then they've got other girls that are missing, and everybody's fucking everybody. All the kids are on drugs, or they're prostitutes. Oh my God, it was insane. And it's looked just like the kind of town you want to live in. It's like everybody knows everybody else's business, and it's juicy. So it was a little long, I would say. They went on a lot of tangents this way and that way, but it was still good. And let's see. They canceled on Netflix The Crew. That was the Kevin James, where he played a NASCAR team. Okay, they canceled that. They canceled Country Comfort, which was the one with the girl from American Idol, where it was like a nanny, Catherine McPhee, and she was like nanny, and she took over for this singing family.
That sounds
okay. And then Bonding, which was about the bondage, the two that were doing the bondage, and then Mr. Iglesias, which I was sad about because I really enjoyed that.
I remember.
They were funny, and I know they were kind of ordinary, but they were funny shows anyway. And then we started. Okay, there's a new thing on Netflix that they're doing for July. It's called Fear Street, And so the first
Yeah.
Fear Street is out. Fear Street, it's 1994, and it's about a town where 500 years ago they killed a witch, and every time that there's some kind of killer, it's being controlled by the witch. So they've had, just like every 10 years, they have some terrible thing happening. They have like a killing in a mall or killing at a summer camp. And the thing is that the witch can also control bringing those people back from the dead. So if you piss off the witch, they're all coming for you. So it was, and it's three movies. So the first movie is 1994. The second movie goes back to the summer camp where something happened and someone went on a murderous chopping of all the people in summer camp. And then there's one after that, which is either going to be current date, or I'm thinking maybe go all the way back to the witch.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit of both. Finally stopping her once and for all. But the first movie was decent. I was a little upset at who got killed, but
was it the guy with the green hair?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just saw a thing with the guy with green hair that was showing his ass, and that's how I knew anything about it. So,
and he's super cute, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw the ass, and green hair.
And then the only other thing is I saw Tomorrow War.
Yes. Yes. What did you think?
Well, I thought the special effects were decent,
Yeah.
especially when I'm watching it on a home television where they don't have to be 80 feet tall, because sometimes that stuff looks terrible. So it looked good, and it felt like there were two movies there. And which I thought, okay, well, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be two different movies or they didn't have enough for the second one. But Chris Pratt is not a very good actor.
Yeah.
Those scenes with his daughter.
Weak with this one.
What?
He was a little weak. You know what? Honestly, yeah. He's an okay actor. He's one of those actors that, like, you throw him into an oatmeal part, or you throw him into a comedy, an oatmeal part, an action part, or a comedy, and he can deliver. But
well, I think
this had really, really strong actors in it, and he
wasn't one of them.
He didn't measure. It's almost like there were parts where he was kind of phoning it in.
Yeah, it felt really, and it's weird because he's one of the producers, so you think that he wouldn't. But I know he was not happy that it got bought up by Prime.
Yeah, that's another thing that I was kind of wondering, is if that had something to do with it.
Well, but it didn't get bought up by Prime until it was done. So.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, so it was. I think if you think about it, look at the roles he's had. He doesn't really do drama.
No, and he just, I mean, I have to, when I'm saying the other actors were really strong, I mean, they delivered. I bought into them, but the comedic relief, and that includes some of the guys in his team.
Well, I'll tell you.
I was just like, okay, please shut up now. This is not funny.
Dropping them on top of a building just to watch half of the cast get killed right away was really dumb move. I mean, sure, it was grisly and gross and shocking, but it's also like, okay, what you can't control that you're putting them on top of a building, right? Hey, look, there's the whole Atlantic Ocean right there. You could drop them at the beach. How about that? But no, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but I did like the relationship with his daughter.
Yes.
And I thought that was cool. And I thought the creatures were interesting enough, but The whole time I'm yelling at the, well, I was yelling two things. First of all, I'm like, okay, what do we know about these creatures? I understand that you've been fighting them for, a long time, but we haven't. So
Right.
do we know, do they have a problem with weather? Do they have a problem with,
Mhm.
remember, because in signs they didn't like water.
Right.
And so, give us some information.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like movies just to flow over me. I want to figure out how I can help these people and make
Yeah.
their lives better, but
Mhm.
they're not giving me any fucking information on this at all. And then come to find out that they don't like the cold. Oh, well, that would have been helpful to know.
Mhm.
So that those are the kind of things that bug me, and every time he goes, don't worry, I'm never going to leave you and your mother. Oh yeah, ask Anna Faris that.
Well,
I
and
all through the movie, every time when he goes, don't worry, I'll be back, and I go, no, that's your father-in-law's tagline, not yours.
right.
The father-in-law that you ended up with after you left poor Anna Faris.
Mm. Well,
Asshole
that's the
whore.
thing is they did that whole thing of trying to draw parallels between his relationship with his father and then his relationship with her during the future. And I'm like, oh my God, how tacky is that? You're not even trying to make it like for us to draw our own conclusions. You're just hitting us over the fucking head with it. I mean, there was nothing subtle about this film. I hated the aliens. And of course, what was the one thing they told you how to kill the aliens? In India? Bueller?
Oh, shoot it in the neck or in the gut.
Right. And what do? They're just like still firing all their ammo, which how the hell they had so much ammo, I'm still wondering, as it's like got its back to them.
Well,
Like
and
they're not even trying.
okay, how about grenades?
Yeah, how about
Where you shoot it
anything?
underneath them and it blows up on them, which would just, it was just dumb. Um,
So
it was
the
entertaining enough to get through the 2 hours and 20 minutes it
oh
lasted,
yeah.
but it's, I mean,
And the
I
thing and the thing too is with the aliens, again, here you have this perfect alien. It can't be killed except for under the head or the neck. It's got armor. It's resistant to this. It shoots things out of its weird crazy arms. It's like it just reminded me of every horde CGI alien that they have in movies these days. It's got tentacles flying all over. It doesn't actually, like, how the hell half of it was climbing up buildings on the sides and shit like that. It didn't look like the alien is what let me down with it. But
also doesn't bother me.
uh but even though we've kind of picked apart things in this, it's still worth a watch. It kept me going. I was interested in it the whole time. Yeah, it was disjointed. Yeah, there's a few things here and there that it's like if you really wanted to bring this up a star, you would have paid more attention or. But for the most part, I was still in it. I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad I watched it. I don't know if I really bothered going back and watching it again. Maybe. It
I won't. What was the other thing that irritated me about this? I don't know. I can't remember now. Well, if you look at it, you go, well, okay, I can see why it's on Prime.
yeah,
This
yeah,
would tank at theaters,
yes, it would.
and then people would be going, oh, I don't understand why,
Huh.
and then I'd supply them with a list.
Yeah, no,
And,
and see that's the thing. For Prime, I was very happy with. I did not pay to watch this movie, and it was better than a lot. I was happy with it. But if I paid $20 to sit there in the theater and watch it, I would have felt let down.
yeah,
Yeah, I was not, however, let down when they finally let him take his shirt off. I still have to say, I still think he's a very sexy man.
yeah. Oh, that's the part Okay, remember how they send them off into the future suddenly before they're even changed?
Uh-huh.
And he's shooting aliens with a knit pullover.
Yeah, right.
And it
Yep.
just looked like, oh, come on. Didn't these guys have uniforms that they would have already had them dressed in?
Yeah. And they had that whole thing where they were like, oh, well, how come this person's got, able to wear camo, but this person, they're not letting me wear camo. I'm just wearing some t-shirt. And it's like, well, I have a feeling it may be because the money wasn't in the costume budget. So
Yeah, but I wore
they
this
just
from
brought shit
home.
from home. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I know that we're knocking it, but I still say if you just want a good couple hour fun watch, don't think about shit, go watch it. It's actually fun. So
It's free
yes,
if
and
you have
that
Prime.
is an added perk. Added perk, added plus. All right. So for me, let's see, John was gone for the weekend. That John, my father, was gone for the weekend. Woohoo! And I was all like, well, you're leaving on a Saturday. Where the hell are you going? And then I realized, oh, it's 4th of July. You want to be over with your not girlfriend. Okay, bye-bye. 4th of July we talked about. It was fucking insane here. I mean, I went out on the porch and sat down and I was trying to record some of the fireworks in the distance, and the explosions from the illegal ones that were like on either side of the house were so loud, it actually shook me to the point that I started to almost cry. And I'm like, okay, this is fucked up. I'm coming in the house now. I put on my earphones and I tried to tune out, and Kaya hid under the bed. Let's see. I have gotten almost all the way through the second season of Downton Abbey finally. And I took a break for a couple days, but I love it. I'm a little annoyed and tired that they're constantly picking on Bates. Like, just fucking, like, do something else for a while. It's getting to the point where the whole picking on Bates thing is becoming kind of like one of the reasons that I stopped liking Torchwood, is because it got where everything was like torture porn on Jack. How can we just keep fucking with Jack to the point where we just break him down? And I think that it feels like they're doing the same thing with Bates's story at this point. I'm just like, you know what? Just let him be happy for a while and fucking focus on something else.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, he's got a past.
I know. It's so scandaloso.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
that makes a big difference um in these storylines. I mean, they back during that time period, we didn't have social media, so we had rumor,
Uh-huh.
and so a lot of people got into the business of being a servant because they didn't have anywhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this was a good way of hiding because they got to live there, and so they were basically just the only people that ever saw them was anybody that came to visit the house,
Yeah.
other than the family. I just want a servant. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, I would figure out maybe like put a mother-in-law cottage out in the back so I could have a full-time servant that is always cooking, cleaning, and making my life wonderful.
Well, I know that I agree.
I need to put on my clothes. Help, help.
Yes. And one of the things that you're supposed to do though is you're supposed to make sure that the kitchen has a window that has a front view so that they can always see who pulls up, so that they can be there to greet them at the front door when they get out of their car or their cottage or cabbage or
Well, yeah, because most of the time
cribbage.
you're gonna have a head butler that's gonna
Yeah.
be looking out for that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I am having fun with it. Yeah, yeah. I had to say I was. No, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So there is now a service coming out this month from Amazon. It is called Kindle Vella, and it is serial writing. so for people that read stuff on Kindle, your Kindle app, like, you know, your digital books. So these are serials, so that you write between 600 and 5,000 words per piece. And it's just like an ongoing story, and you have cliffhangers, or chapters, depending on how you want to set yours up. And you put it up there, and every time readers who will download the app and explore will get 3 free episodes. And at the end of the 3 free episodes, if they really want to continue reading your writing that you've got up there, they will then purchase tokens, which are like 100 tokens for $2 or something like that. And so depending on what your word count is, so if you have 1,000 words, then they'll maybe say, oh, you have to have 25 tokens to unlock this next chapter. And then Amazon will take 25 out of the 25 tokens or whatever, they'll take like half of them, and then you get the rest. So you get like 13 cents or something like that. So
Sounds worth it.
I know, right? But it's kind of gotten me, at first I was like, it's not worth it, I'm not wasting my time with that. But then I had some old writing that I'm like, well, you know, I could just clean that up and turn that into stuff and get it out there. So this is a way. And originally, one of the reasons that writers also were not is because Vella was basically saying that once you put your writing up on here, you can't print it anywhere else. You can't do anything with it. It just stays here. Basically, like almost like you lose your rights to it once it's up. And authors said, fuck that. So they changed it to saying that you have to have a certain amount of chapters up, and they have to be there for at least 30 days each. And then if you want to take it all and turn it into a book or another project, you can. So anyway, I've got one up. It's called Eden's Bay, or The Scandals of Eden's Bay. And it launches this month. And it's just kind of gotten me back into writing, and I've needed that. So even though this is just something light and it's not going to be like my full books or anything like that, it's just a fun little thing to get me writing and to get other people reading. I don't know if it's going to really take off and be a big thing, but if it's done right, I think people would like it. People that, you know, like want episodic TV, this is like episodic books. So it's nice. Anyway, and then the last thing is Last Romance, of course, is out. It was out on digital the 1st of this month, July 1st. And I have, the reviews are kind of slow coming in, but I do have about 6 or 7 reviews that have come out. They are all 5 stars. They are very positive reviews. People are talking about how they, how well written it is, and how they have had to keep a box of tissues with them as they've read it, and they were sobbing at the end, and it was so beautiful. And it's just nice to hear after you spend 6 years writing something and you finally get it out there, and to hear people actually like really react the way you want it. And of course, you know, writers are, you will know this, Tom, writers are kind of ghoulish, and when, you know, somebody's like crying over your work because it's moved them so much, you're just like, and you're giggling as they cry because you're happy about it. They've moved. They're being moved. Anyway, so I'm really happy with the response, and I just hope that it, of course, picks up and sells more copies. But, all right. With that, we have a wonderful sponsor called Fat Marker. And they want to remind you to be loud, but not as loud as the fireworks, to be proud, to be too much, and to be you. And they want those of us who've been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs Gone Wild listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWILDCHUB to get 20% off everything. while ordering over at fatmarketclothing.com. All right. Do you want some advice?
Okay. Who is it?
Actually, it is Dear Prudy.
Oh,
However,
God.
the question is
Short.
somewhat short, so it's not too bad.
Okay.
All right. Dear Prudy, I have a huge crush on my therapist, and I'm terrified that if I tell her, she won't be comfortable with being my therapist anymore. The crush has gotten so intense that I get very nervous in the hours leading up to our appointments. Also, I think my fear that telling her would make her uncomfortable being my therapist is part of something larger, which I would like to explore more in therapy, so a vicious cycle ensues. I'm pretty sure that this fear is irrational because she is a lovely and professional person, but I can't shake it. Okay.
So are we, is this supposed to be a woman?
I don't know, actually.
Okay, well, either way, you need to tell the therapist.
Right. Because the therapist needs to decide what to do.
And that's completely up to the therapist to decide, or at least offer this person options on what can happen. But
Right.
yeah, you can't sit there and be getting a hard on over your fucking therapist while you're in therapy. It's not doing you any good. You're lying to them now.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, they're lying. They're lying every time they go to the therapist.
Okay, I was just going to say, I don't know if it's necessarily a hard on, maybe a heart flutter.
Well, if it's a woman, it doesn't matter. A hard on's a hard on. Oh, look. Oh,
no, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that it sounds.
I get
more
very
like a love
nervous
thing
hours
rather than I
before
want
our
to bone you
appointments.
thing.
I'm sorry. That's a hard on.
I would love to have a really hot male therapist that I would, get hard on over. But again, if this is something that is maybe part of a larger cycle that you want to explore, then you absolutely have to tell them. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and say stupid shit. And
No matter
really
what, you have to tell the therapist.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you.
Okay, it's not just it's just you can't do that. I mean, it's like going into therapy and then lying the whole time. It doesn't do anybody any good. You're paying money for nothing.
Right, exactly. All right, well, let's see what Joe Prudy had to say. I just texted my friend who is a therapist to get her perspective. She assured me that 1, this is extremely common and normal. 2, you don't need to concern yourself with your therapist's comfort. And 3, a good therapist will process this with you in a totally non-flirty way with a focus on what you can learn from these feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Sorry, this shirt's just bothering me.
All right, everybody jump on the video. Tom's shirtless.
Yeah, and all you're seeing is shoulder blades. I mean, shoulders. That's it.
You know what? Back in the 1800s and stuff, this would have been very sexy. Well, it still is, but Anyway, but this
look, here's my wrist.
Oh. But, and this is a big but.
Yeah. Here. Okay, sorry.
She also mentioned that one of the main things therapists get in trouble for is having sex with their patients. That's a reminder that in all professions there are good and bad people, competent and incompetent people, and ethical and unethical people. And this is no exception. You say she's lovely and professional, so I think you can go ahead and tell her. But if she responds with anything other than a fairly boring, let's unpack this perspective, if she suggests at all that she likes you too and is interested in making something happen, let that be your last session. Yeah, right.
Well,
if there's a totally hot fucking therapist in front of me and I'm all like, I'm not sure because I may have kind of a crush on you and you give me a hard on, as Tom says, and he's all like, you know what, you give me a hard on too, whip it out. Like, I'm going to be all like, oh, this should be our last session. I'd be all like, bring it. So
Yeah, well, see, it's so weird when you're talking about gay men. Oh,
Uh-huh.
actually, men
Right.
in general. They they're not trustworthy. They really aren't. They are motivated by all the wrong things.
Mhm.
And yeah, you've got to, yeah, that would be just awful. I could just see that though. It's like, oh, here, pull it out.
Ah,
It, hopefully it's a female, it's two females, and we know that there's not going to be like in office licking going on.
oh, you never know what they get up to. They might get down on that floor and get some scissors.
Oh God, horrible.
Scissors, sisters. All right. Hey, Chubs, Wonder Woman or ISIS?
I don't care.
Well, I'm going to say Wonder Woman, but you know
Of
what? I
course
would
you
love
are.
to see a really good ISIS movie. I liked that show. Well, I mean, I like the concept of that show. The show itself, when I rewatched it a few years ago, was like, oh dear. But
Yeah,
it was for kids in the 70s, so come on.
right.
All right. Hey, Chubbs, Superman or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Yeah, see, that's a hard one for me because I like the naughtiness of Iron Man, but I also like that whole, uh, hot savior, woofy Superman kind of thing going on there.
Yeah, well, just remember Superman's a total top, and you know what that means?
Well,
When
I
he
mean,
comes, he's going to blow out the other side of your butt.
and see, that's the thing that
There
gets
goes
me
your
is like,
dick.
how the
Come
hell
on.
does Superman have sex and impregnate anyone? It just
Um,
doesn't logically make sense. Anyway,
I
moving on
know
from there.
it's terrible.
Yeah, but I guess Lois had, lead lining in her. So, anyway, what's in your lunchbox? Well, here is a lunchbox that is overflowing with goodies, filled to the rim, and it's for Moose P. And he writes in and says, hubby got an appetizer portion of strained dumplings, and they look delicious. He likes his husband's dumplings.
Wait,
On
I'm trying to find the dumplings.
Oh, I'm not sure. They're in there. On vacation, but still trying to eat healthy, ordered a simple chicken and vegetable stir fry in a garlic sauce. Nothing to brag about, but at least it's healthy. Coffee, need coffee. Feel like a headachy zombie. Bought a large coffee, and the shop had key lime pie. Had to order a slice. A good key lime pie is probably my favorite pie,
Yeah, I like
except
key lime
for
pie.
pumpkin.
Ugh.
I love pumpkin pie, but key lime pie is so good. Um, Indian restaurant tonight. This looks like a bowl of blood with a lump in it. Oh God! But it's really buttered chicken. Was
It's
so
buttered
good.
chicken. Oh my God, it's my totally my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah,
double
you get
cheese.
that with some garlic naan and just eat it with your fingers. Oh, good,
I
good.
want to try naan bread.
Oh, it's well, yeah. There's nothing to know. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
it's like better than pita and fluffier
Oh,
than a tortilla.
I love Peta. He was so good in that movie.
And then they burn the garlic onto the bread, and it's really yummy.
Sounds like it.
Yum yum.
Um, Double cheeseburger with a side of home fries. That's my favorite.
And you can see they got a little bit of a cheese skirt there
Mmm.
going on.
More
Very
Thai
popular.
food. This was
Oh,
a beef and noodle bowl. There were noodles under all those vegetables.
yes, please.
Mm. A healthy breakfast after eating poorly yesterday. Greek yogurt with mixed granola, fruit, and nuts, sweetened with agave syrup. Eh. And finally, brisket pastrami sandwich. Open face on house-made bread, a layer of mustard aioli, marinated cabbage, pastrami, and cheese.
See,
With a
that's the
side,
first picture. That's the first one.
with a side of Parmesan truffle
Look at
fries.
those fries. Oh my God.
Oh,
I want that. The dumplings is the next picture. That's good. Key lime pie. There's the stir fry. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so hungry. It's a good thing that that the what's in your lunch is one of the last segments, because I can't wait much longer before I'm going to pass out from no food.
It really, these photos just are amazing.
I'm starting to look at these things and I don't want to.
Oh, now Tom's holding up a thing of the Cadbury eggs from Easter time. And Sean doesn't like them?
No,
I
no
don't
one,
understand you people.
no one likes them.
I love them. Although I will say, since after they changed the recipe to the more Americanized, cheaper chocolate, they weren't as much. But when I had them for the first time as a little kid, oh my God, those just changed my life. That was all I wanted.
Yeah, to me, it just felt like I was draining an abscess.
Oh, that's the best part of it. You ever just sit there with your partner and pop the pimples on their back? Watch
No,
this pimple popper. Have you ever
no,
watched those videos?
no, they make me sick.
So freeing. Anyway, now I'm kind of feeling
But I do like the
okay.
smell of them.
Oh, and now I'm feeling squeamish, girl. All right. Currently, LGBTQ people of color in America have a disproportionately high rate of new HIV infections. Golden Rule Services of Sacramento, along with the HIV Planning Council, want to remind you that there is an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, aka PrEP, is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, call your local sexual health clinic. In Sacramento County, California, contact Golden Rule Services at sacgrs.org to get started on protecting your sexual health. And with that amazing information, please send us an email at Chubs Gone Wild.
Wait.
Was there something else? What did I forget?
Well, you keep forgetting to mention the live shows coming up.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Every week, and we finish up and you go, oh, I forgot to mention this. Well, okay, so we're on the 25th.
Yes.
25th. Okay. Chubs Gone Wild will be on noon Eastern Standard Time or 9 o'clock on Pacific time. You figure out, if you're not in those two time periods, what your time is. Okay. Now remember, we are having the hostess and the Swiss roll eat off, I guess.
The ho-hos and the Swiss rolls.
And so basically, if you want to be a part of picking one or the other, you need to be live in the audience that day.
Yes.
And you got to get your own Swiss rolls and ho-hos. But I figured that that's something that not too many people are gonna have a problem with.
No.
Oh, you mean I have to have pastries here and watch the show? Oh, okay. Well, pastries if you're counting the ho-hos. Dried rolled cake if you're having the spring rolls.
Right. So anyway,
I wonder if you soak those things in like how they do tiramisu and maybe I don't know.
A really nice chai tea, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
I know, right? And how'd I come up with that? Anyway,
and you've got the chocolate surrounding it, so it would almost be like a cup.
Yeah.
You can just kind of drink.
That sounds really good.
Okay.
One of the things that I did when I wrote my thank you cards is I had a thing of chai tea in the bag, and it smelled so good that I rubbed it on the thank you cards so that people could open it and smell. It just smells so nice.
Yeah, I did that with an old pair of underwear.
Oh, well, thank you cards and underwear. Okay, sorry, lost in thought. All right, send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Are you writing all this down?
It's right here. I don't have to.
Well, yes, but our listeners must.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe they'd call more.
They can just rewind.
Oh, that's true. Please become a patron of the show over at patreon.com/Matt Burlingame. We haven't had a new patron for the show for like a year or more. Anyway, find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at swanandjudd.com. Find their podcast on iTunes or iHeartRadio. You know, I think we may have to update that because I guess they're Apple now. Although I still have an iTunes app, it doesn't say it's an Apple app. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Find out more about my books over at justkisstheguy.com. Check out my other podcast at biggaysexshow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes. And don't forget that you can watch the videos of the show over at youtube.com by looking up our name, Chubs Gone Wild. I will get a special URL in case you want to do that, like Sean does. Sean watches us over there and comments, and it makes me very happy when I see that. And with that, well, I think it's time for me to get ready to go drag in all my father's crap when he gets home.
Oh,
and you can go celebrate
nap?
Fried Chicken Day.
Oh, I know. Fried Chicken Day.
I know. So beautiful. All right. We will catch you later. Bye.
Bye.